doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm so excited to do this with you.
Yes, I'm super excited. I was like, she don't live too far from me. Like, I don't get too many guests I can jump in my car and actually get to. So
Yep.
I'm excited.
Yes.
So, once again, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. For anyone that is just now joining us, I have the lovely Miss Janiya Pipkin, Miss Grand, North Carolina, USA 2025.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so
So,
much.
before we jump into your pageant journey, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about who you are
Yes.
outside of the crown.
Absolutely. So I am a 23-year-old full-time family and criminal law paralegal. Yes, I work every day, Monday through Friday, basically just making sure I am there for my community. I do have two lovely bosses that work in multiple counties, so we're kind of stretched all over the place. But I want to say it was June 1st marked my first year of being a full-time family law paralegal. So I'm celebrating a little bit of accomplishments over here. And I get to be alongside my bosses with trials and making sure I'm prepping them for anything that they need.
Well, congratulations on that. What an amazing accomplishment.
Thank you.
I mean, and you still have so much you have going on. That's why I said, let me go ahead and get started with you right now.
Yes.
Okay. So we like to ask this general question of all of our guests. And as you know, we are a pageant resource, and there's tons of pageant resources out there, of course.
Yes.
But as a title holder, is there something that you want to see more so? It can be from us or just in general from the different pageant resources that are out there. Do you want to see more support, or do you want to see more representation or content? What do you want to see more of from
Honestly,
us?
all of that. I think it's very, very important for a title holder to show really who she is. So I love that you jumped off asking, who are you outside of pageantry? Because that's who people want to know. Yes, you won the beautiful crown, the beautiful sash, but who are you as a person? That's what I want to see. So the content, we are very big on TikTok right now. Give me a day in the life. I'm actually going to do one when I finish here. I got to go to the gym. So I'm going to show people what I do when I finish work and finish, interviewing. What do I do? So I think it's very important for everyone, not just when you get a state title or a national title or international title. Who are you as a person? And then I'm very big on sisterhood. Let's see us get together. We don't always have to get together at pageants. What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing in a month from now? Let's see if we can kind of jump in and support each other outside of this pageantry life.
I agree with you 100%. And, we all going to need to check out that TikTok and see what goes on at the gym with you, letting off some steam.
Yes.
So I know this is not your first time on a pageant stage. So tell me, what are you most excited about representing North Carolina on the Miss Grand USA stage? What are you most excited
I
about?
mean, well, this is my first time holding a state title. So I'm excited about everything. I think it's going to be different. I'm no longer fighting for the Miss North Carolina title. You are Miss North Carolina. You're going for something bigger. So I think the entire journey is going to be completely different. I'm so excited to meet my sisters that I've been talking to for a couple of months. I'm excited for swimsuit. I want to say this is my second time.
Uh-oh, did I lose her? Just when she's talking about swimsuit. Here we go. God, I love technology. Let me get her back. All right, let's try this again. Let's try to get her back. I love how she teased us. She wanted to talk about swimsuit, and then of course, we have her frozen. Oh, she's not letting her back in. Well, why are we trying to get her back in? She's in North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina. All right, let me invite her back. All right, I may have to leave and come right back to get her back. Let's try this again. All right, she's accepted. Ah, let's try this again. I see she's not spinning anymore. Ah,
Okay, we're back.
you don't know this, but I said as soon as she starts talking about swimsuit, it decides it wants to freeze up, talking about the
I
best of
know.
my
Like
hair.
we're getting to the good part and technology wants to mess up. Not today.
Not today. You're back.
Not
So you were
today. We
saying
are back.
you're looking forward to the swimsuit competition.
Yes, yes. I competed for Miss North Carolina for Miss America, and you know that's fitness, that has a talent. So we're doing things a little different this year. And let me tell you, Grand is all about being fierce and confident. So I am so excited to, number one, show up for myself, see how I project that confidence on the stage, but also seeing my sisters.
Well, I'm very, very excited for you to have this journey because you can show your fierceness, as you said. And speaking of that, I know that you've had such a great journey in terms of pageantry. Now, are you a newbie of pageantry? Because you know some people started when they were kids. So, when was your very first pageant?
I started in 2022. September 17th, 2022 is when I won my first title as Miss Fayetteville Dogwood.
Wow.
Yes. So
That's
I
so
still call myself
exciting.
a newbie because it's still fresh. It's still very fresh and I'm still learning. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, it's so many different organizations out here. Look, you can't just stop at one. You just can't. They all have different mottos. They have different reasonings behind why they do what they do. So it's amazing, but I still consider myself a freshman, a little newbie in the pageant world.
So tell me, what made you decide that you wanted to jump, I should say, dive right into this world of pageantry? Because you did start a little bit older and later, because like I said, a lot of women, young women start when they're kids,
Yeah.
essentially. So what made you decide to sign up for your very first pageant, which was Miss Dogwood Festival, correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am. So I tell this story all the time, and I believe my mom is watching me. Hi, mom. But I remember going to my mom and just kind of expressing myself how I felt at the time. I want to say I was a junior in college, maybe, or sophomore or junior in college, one of those. And we were, COVID started in 2021, 2020. So in 2022, we were kind of migrating back into school and all of that stuff. And I kind of was going through mentally. I lost my best friend at the age of 18. And I kind of lost myself, I'm going to be honest. And I told my mom about it. I was a cheerleader in college, and we were able to help a Fair to Remember with their runway show. And Madison Bryant was our Miss North Carolina USA 2021 at the time, and she just spoke so much into me. Like she was amazing. She seen something in me that I didn't see in myself, and I fangirled. I went home, I told my mom, and she remembered that conversation. And in 2022, she told me about Fayetteville Dogwood, and she was like, Janiya, you need to do this. Like, you have a story that you need to tell to young women. You need to get out there and do it. And I was nervous. I didn't want to do it. And she stayed on me. My mom stayed on me. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to just do it so mom can leave me alone. Let me just do it. Little did I know she was literally saying, Janiya, this is your journey. You need to do this. She's seen something completely different that I could not see at the time. And she jump started that journey right for me. Here I am a couple years later, still going.
Yes, and you know what I've seen just by watching your journey, especially all of your posts and, you know, seeing you in person, the growth. Like you, I feel as though with every single pageant journey that you've had, I was like, oh, she's unpeeled another layer of herself. And
Yeah.
that for me is what's so exciting about your specific journey is that how much you have continued to grow with each pageant. So when I saw you were competing in the grand system, I said, "Oh, she playing no game."
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, this was a big step. This was a step.
It was, and it's a great step. So you mentioned about the Miss Grand USA pageant and how much they have that high energy performance, which is always so amazing. But they also have a strong social media presence Yeah. Well. So, how have you been preparing yourself, both mentally and physically, for all the parts and pieces of this competition?
So my platform is called Speak Up, where we're advocating about the importance of mental health. And I think a lot of people think I love how you mentioned mentally, because a lot of people think if they don't see it physically, it's not happening. And there's a lot of internal wars that happen with everyone every single day. So for me, I just make sure that I hold myself to the same standard that I tell others. Make sure I'm taking time for myself. Make sure that I'm still practicing. I'm building my team, but make sure that my team is who needs to be there and not just there for the moment. I'm making sure that I'm building my forever team if possible. So I mentioned being a full-time criminal and family law paralegal. I'm doing trials. So I try to map out a plan where I'm giving my all to my work, but I'm also giving my all to pageantry and to myself. So that schedule, it's a little hectic, but I try to make sure that I find time within myself for me to wind down. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. My line sisters, they keep me going. If I need a breather, I'm either going to my family or I'm going to my sisters. And that really keeps the balance between, work and pageantry, but also mentally being okay.
Well, that's important, that you surround yourself with positive people,
Yeah.
which you see a long way because it is busy, it's hectic.
Yeah.
So tell me, how, in terms of preparation, how has this been different than the other pageants that you have prepared
So
for?
So going back to that confidence, I knew I had to bring it a little different. And I'm not going to tell a story. It was a little hard for me at first because I feel like I'm a little timid when it comes to kind of showing myself off a little bit. So I had to mentally prepare and tell myself, honey, this is a whole different ball game. You have to get ready to step up to the plate. The coaches that I found, they are really pouring into me, both the personal trainer and the walking coaches that I have. They're bringing something different to the table. And that's different from the coaches that I've had before, because I try to find coaches that fit for each organization. The teaching styles, the preparation style, it's different. So whenever I find those people, they're pouring into me so that way I can pour into myself and pour into others for that confidence. So that's been my preparation, making sure I'm finding those that's pouring into me and teaching me how I need to be for this specific organization.
I love that because you do have to prepare differently, and every pageant system is different.
Yeah.
So you are definitely ready for that. And speaking of that, like I said, you've been in pageants just a few years now.
Yeah.
So what has been some of the biggest lessons that you've learned as a pageant competitor?
Do not compare yourself to others. And we're human, so it happens like naturally without you even putting thought to it. But you are more than capable of being the winner. I blew myself out of the water when I got first runner up for Miss North Carolina Volunteer and Miss Black North Carolina USA. I was top 10 for Miss North Carolina USA, top 15 for Miss North Carolina for Miss America. It's like, whoa. When I read my pageant resume, that's what I like to call it, I shock myself because I'm like, Janiya, you're more than capable of being the winner. You're more than capable of stepping up to the plate. But of course, you look at others, you look at the dress, you look at the way they walk, you look at how beautiful they are, and sometimes you can get in your mind. But I have learned your pageant journey and your walk is going to be different than others, rightfully so.
I love that. And you're right, it is your own journey. I always say you're taking your pen and you're writing your own
Yep,
journey for this, and that's what makes it exciting.
exactly.
So, like I said, with social media, I know I've seen some of your posts, and I know with the Miss Grand USA system, that is really big. And, give the shouts out to your sponsors. So, tell me, how do you come up with the creative ideas that you do for your social media
So
posts?
I try to look at my sponsors' social media as well. I like to look at kind of what they do on their page to see if what I'm going to create kind of follows and meshes into what they got going on. I don't only like to just shout them out, but let me purchase from them ahead of time before we get our sponsorship things at the pageant. Let me show my support. Let me tell them thank you. So that's one thing that I love as well. I don't want to call any names for any of our sponsors because we have a lot. But I try to make sure I can purchase at least one or two things from them. That way I can show them not only am I saying thank you online, but I'm physically purchasing things from your company as well.
And that's great because you get some good stuff too. So,
Yes, you do. I'm excited for August. I'm so excited.
so tell me, what's the date of the pageant
It
again?
is August 14th through the 17th, 18th, I'm sorry, and it's going to be in Las Vegas.
Ooh, what happens
Super
in
hot
Vegas?
though. It's going to be hot.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hot,
And
but it's gonna be great. It's Vegas, you know. I mean,
this is my first time going to Vegas too. I think I'm going to go a couple of days early so we can have a little wind down time in Vegas before we hit the streets running.
that's right. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yes.
So, looking back at your own journey, maybe there's someone listening right now. Maybe somebody's going to hear this later who is like, you know what? I really want to do my first pageant, but I am so nervous. I don't know where to start or what to do. What advice would you give her?
Oh, again, there's so many organizations. So if you look up something, I promise you, you will find a pageant that is happening near you. But just do it. Take that step. Um, I didn't have the big team when I first went in. I didn't. And I have yet to have a regular season or reign where everything went perfect. So it's not going to go perfect. Well, more than likely it's not going to. I pray and hope it does, but more than likely it's not going to go perfect. So don't have that in the back of your head. Oh, if I don't have everything lined up, I can't do it. Absolutely not. Do it. Get that first one out your system, and I promise you, after that first one, you're going to fall in love and you're going to keep going if that's really what you want to do.
Just take that leap of faith. That's all it is.
That's
You
it.
never know where your journey will take you. Look at you.
Exactly. When I say I never envisioned myself here, I didn't. Like, I promise I was just kind of getting that first one out the way. And then I just realized sisterhood is very big here in the pageant world. The scholarship money, they don't only want to see you in a crown and sash, but they want to pour into the educational background. And I tell people all the time, you may take my crown, you may take my sash, but you will never take my education and my brain. Beauty and brains, it goes together. So it's way more to the pageant system than just looking pretty in a fancy dress.
Absolutely. It's a lot of hard work, like you said,
Yeah.
and you wear your invisible crowns all the time. So
All the
definitely can't take that away from you.
Yes.
So, you mentioned you've been first runner up a couple of times. It's like you just get so very close. And we all know as title holders, we've all been there, done that.
Mhm.
We've gotten so close. So, what advice, again, would you give these title holders, these women who've been competing a lot, been in these systems a whole lot, and they get so close? What keeps them motivated? What's going to keep them motivated to try again?
So, how can I say it? As a human, I was sad and hurt and disappointed when I kept getting, first runner up. You hear I got best interview. It's like, what am I missing to where I'm not getting that crown? I literally competed with pneumonia my last pageant for Miss Black North Carolina, USA. Yeah. I found out I had pneumonia, I want to say 4 days before competition. My family was gone. They were on a trip. So I'm having to get myself together and drive an hour and a half out. But I still showed up. So that's what I would tell people, continue to show up. I didn't win, and then a month and a half later, I am Miss Grand North Carolina. Like, if it's meant for you, it will be for you. Who knows where I would be or the shoes that I would be filling in if I did win those pageants prior to. I may not be walking the journey that's actually perfect for me right now. So you may not win, and it's going to hurt, rightfully so. But that may not be the journey for you at this very moment. So continue to show up for yourself and continue to show up for others. I have so many little girls coming up to me saying, "Oh my gosh, like you're so beautiful. I want to be like you." You know, this stuff is real. I used to think people were not telling the truth when they say people came up to them saying that. No, that really happens. These little girls are really looking at us and they're really inspiring to be like us. So not only show up for yourself, but show up for others that are watching you, because I promise you are their motivation. So that's what I would tell others.
Absolutely. I think we've all had those young women in our lives that we pattern ourselves after. That's how I got into it, is being able to see other people and want to follow that journey as
Right.
well. And I didn't realize you were sick there. I remember seeing that you had a car accident right before pageant. Oh my goodness.
When
So
I say I have not had a regular rain, it has been something. Yes, every year something happens before my pageants. Every year.
okay, so let's just I need you to put yourself in a box before you leave for Vegas. So so that you will
Right.
be good. But I guarantee you, because just from what you just said, you've always had a lesson, and that lesson was to just keep going despite
Yeah.
the circumstances that you face. But seriously, stay in a little small.
I'm going to lock myself in. Nobody can see me. You guys can see me on the 14th.
Just checking, because they're like, "What happened to Miss North Carolina?" I'm like, "Oh God, we don't know what happened to Miss North Carolina."
It's something.
So we all know, like you said, how you prevent that burnout and make sure that you give yourself that me time, because your platform, Speak Up, is so very, very dear to you. As a state title holder, and maybe even as a national title holder, what do you want to emphasize about the importance of Speak Up to everyone?
So I tell people all the time, people will ask, well, what do you mean by speak up? Speak up is very broad. Exactly what I said. When my best friend passed away, I did not say anything because I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know how to say, I'm sad because of X, Y, and Z, and because I didn't have that perfect sentence, I didn't say anything at all. And that's what submerged me into the place that I was at the time. So I want to make sure that I am stressing the importance of just saying something. There's a few colleges that I want to visit due to when my best friend passed. I was a senior in high school, transitioning into a freshman in college. That transition was hard. I'm blessed to be very educated. I got into every school that I applied for, and I did not choose anything until about a week before school started because I was mentally just I don't know what to do, don't know where to go. And some people may not have the support system that I have here. My family, they are on me, they are behind me 100%, but some people may not have that. So I want to make sure that I'm being that spokesperson for them and showing up for them to say, hey, just say something, and trust and believe that somebody hears you and that we have these resources here and they're right in front of you. Little do you know. So that's really what I want to make sure that I'm stressing, being a state title holder and hopefully a national title holder, that platform, like you said, social media, it's big in this generation. Having that big platform just to spread awareness and spread those resources, that's what I want.
And that's amazing. And speaking of social media, and it is such a huge, big platform, how do you block out the noise? Because a lot of times, sometimes people can, it's easy to talk bad behind, sitting behind your computer or your phone. So, what advice would you give, especially to these young girls, because they take all these comments to heart, all the negative as well as positive.
Yeah.
So, what advice do you give? How do you keep yourself away from all the negativity, so to speak?
Well, honestly, you can't kind of keep yourself away from it. It's inevitable, it's there. But most importantly, you have to know yourself. You have to know your worth. And that's when your team really steps in as well. Um, my mom will tell you, I am my biggest critic. Like, I am on myself hard. If I see something, I'm like, oh man, maybe I need to change this. Maybe I need to change that. And my mom, being the strong woman she is, she has really poured that confidence into me. And she's told me, you're not going to be able to please everybody. So don't go into it with the mindset of trying to post the perfect picture that doesn't have anything wrong, or if someone says something in the comments, don't try to go seek out to see their point of view. Everybody has their own point of view. Everybody has their own opinion. We can agree to disagree, but ultimately this is your social media. This is your life. This is your platform. So make sure that you know who Janiya is and go from there. So I would definitely say, I tell my young women that all the time. I spoke to almost all of the high schools here in Cumberland County. And that is like almost the first thing I say to my girls and to my guys. Know who you are. Trust and believe that you are perfectly made in God's eyes. Once you know that, you're going to be okay.
That is so true. It's like you said, as long as you know who you are. And I always say, I came up with this myself, keep that sanity circle tight.
Yeah.
You know, not those group of people that are surrounded by you that give you that positive motivation. Keep them a lot closer.
Yeah.
It's like you said, there's no way around it. It's inevitable. It always is going to
Yeah.
happen. But if they take your advice, I think they'll be okay.
Thank you.
So before I let you go to that gym,
Yes.
we like to play a game here called
Okay.
This or That. Okay.
Okay.
Now, for me, I like to give the guest at least one where it could be this and that.
Okay.
Okay. Just one, though. Just one.
Just one. Okay.
Don't push it. Just one. Okay. So, would you prefer sneakers or stilettos?
Ooh, sneakers.
Mm-hmm. Even with the stilettos, you better have a pair of sneakers with you.
You better have some in the car.
Crown or sash?
Ooh, crown.
Yeah, that's a tough one though. It
I
could
like
be,
crown.
ooh, state competition nerves or national competition pressure.
Ooh, y'all are coming hard. I think I'm gonna say both on that one. I think I'm gonna use my one on that one. I'm gonna say both.
I won't take credit for that. Good job, Kennedy. I
Kennedy,
said,
don't be asking these hard questions.
as soon as I saw that on the sheet, I went, ooh, I
Yeah.
gotta ask that one.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a little bit easier. Dress or
Okay.
jumpsuit?
Jumpsuit.
Yes,
Love.
because you like, yes, jumpsuits.
Yes.
Ooh, early bird or night owl?
Night owl. Don't wake me up in the morning. I love my sleep, y'all. I love it. I love it.
Don't we all? Okay, Netflix or Hulu? I don't know if you have time to watch either one, but which one did you prefer?
Um, I'm on Netflix right now. I'm watching Suits. Oh, I love it. So I'm on Netflix.
Okay. Ooh, gold or silver accessories?
I think I like gold more.
Red or nude lipstick?
Fun fact, I don't like lipstick.
So are
So
you a gloss girl?
I'm a gloss girl. My mom is trying to get me into this lipstick, y'all. I'm trying. I'm trying.
So I just have to ask, because you opened up Pandora's box, why don't you like lipstick?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't give a 100% on. I can't give an honest answer. I just feel like the gloss is, it's gonna go on. It's gonna look great. The lipstick, you may have to keep applying a couple of times, and I may be smiling. I got lipstick in my teeth. Now it's too much for me to think about. I get stressed out with the lipstick, believe it or
I
not.
can hear the stress coming right now from you
Hmm.
about this lipstick. So, okay, she likes gloss, y'all.
Love gloss.
Okay, last question. Would you prefer a personal stylist or dress yourself?
A personal stylist. I think having one on hand, that way I can just roll out of bed and just go to them. That'd be perfect. I like it.
Just real out of bed because you're not a morning
Not,
person.
not a morning
Okay, there we go. Well, you know what? I just want to say thank you again so much for taking the time to join us and for sharing so much of who you are with everyone. So if you don't mind, let everybody know how they can stay connected, continue to follow your journey because, we got a few months to go here.
We do.
So how can they find you?
So my Instagram is at Miss NC, Miss Grand NC. That is my state pageant, and then I also have Janiya's Journey. And then my personal Instagram page is also located on both of those Instagrams. My Facebook is Janiya Pipkin. I try to make sure I'm posting on almost every social media outlet. That way, everyone can see. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But Vera, first I have to say thank you to you. I don't think I've ever told you this, but oh my gosh, when we walked in and we met each other at a Fair to Remembers, I want to say it was their girls' night, City View girls' night. You were my inspiration. Again, we talk about it being for others. I have to tell you, you were my inspiration. You are absolutely beautiful. Your spirit, your kindness, it's like you just swooped me in as a little sister, and we've been connected since. So I was super excited. This is my first live with you as a state title holder. So I thank you so much for continuing to support me through every journey. I wish you nothing but success in whatever you decide to do moving forward. But I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. I could not let this moment pass without saying that.
Well, thank you so much. See, you're gonna make me tear
Don't. You
up.
look great. You look great.
Oh, well, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. And like I said, I just love seeing young women have these journeys where you see them grow and just become who they deserve to be, which is the best versions of
Yeah.
themselves. So I'm super excited for you and have the best time of your life. The women in the organization, especially if you've got to talk to, are so great.
Yeah.
So you're going to have so much fun at the national
Thank
pageant. So
you.
continued success, girl. And we can't wait to see you everywhere, see those behind the
Yeah.
scenes and what's going on in your world.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You take care. Thanks again.
Bye.